What's up, everybody? This is Blake and Levi coming to you live. Turn two commentators. How was your week, Blake?
It's Friday. Pretty
Did you
good.
enjoy work?
Who enjoys work?
Athletes.
Well, yeah, they get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah, imagine you driving home from the Braves Stadium. But man, I can't stand, man.
Got new tires put on the truck today.
Grapplers.
No, I got some Falcon Wild Peaks.
You get tent yet?
Nope.
Yeah, my week has been pretty chill. It's starting to get hot.
Yeah,
It's starting to look healthy outside.
yeah,
A lot of moving action.
yeah. And, if I sound weird, it's because allergies literally just hit me like 15 minutes ago.
I wonder why you sound like Joe Logano.
Dude, like literally went out to dinner, was fine, and came back.
Is it pollen down there?
No.
Dang, you sound like a backed up boss.
Yeah, I am backed up. Like it's all in my nose and nothing will come out.
You know what can clear all that up? Take a little whiff of
Shot
horseradish.
or a shot of whiskey.
Oh, that probably help. So, how's your Atlanta Braves been?
They've been doing pretty good. They went on a walk off last night.
Crazy thing is, you're only 5.5 games back from the lead.
Yeah, they're 18 and 19 right now.
You
Actually,
don't catch the Mets.
currently playing the Pirates. Yeah, the Mets. Who?
24 and 14.
Okay.
So you saying at the end, at year's end, you'll be ahead of the Mets?
What do I always say?
The Mets
The
were
Mets are gonna Met.
Don't forget about our bet that you said the Braves will have more wins than the Giants. I know it's still a young season.
We're only 30-something games in.
Who do you think has the best record in Major League Baseball? Well, tied for the best record. Two best records.
It's not the Yankees, is it?
No, you can guess one of the teams.
Dodgers.
Dodgers are tied. They're
And
plus
if
50
it's the
running
other
runs.
team I'm thinking of who's been pretty hot, I think it's the Tigers.
Yeah, they're 25 and 13 as well. Plus, they are plus 83 in run differential.
Oh, wow.
And their starters are on point. The Yankees, I mean, they're 21 and 16, but that division is close. Best division in baseball to me. Yeah, I'm gonna write out these records for you: 25 and 13 Dodgers, 23 and 13 Padres, 24 and 14 Giants, 20 and 18 for the Diamondbacks, and a lonely 6 and 31 for the Rockies. 18 and a half games back.
Ooh.
You forget the team I told you that were going to make the playoffs as a wild card, the A's. The A's are 20 and 18 right now. If I told you before the year started that the A's would have a better record than the Braves at this point, what would you say?
No chance. While we're on MLB, who's your early MVPs?
You go first. I'm debating between three people right now.
Obviously, I think it's Aaron Judge for the AL.
Yeah, I would go with him.
And then NL. NL is always a toss-up. You could obviously go. I don't know, really. You know, you might want to Ohtani, but he's kind of seemed to have quieted down.
I mean, to my knowledge, he has 7 home runs and 11 RBIs, 13 RBIs. But for me, moving up quickly is Juan Soto. But Tatis is having a good year. No one's talking about his average. He's like 330. Kyle Tucker for the Cubs, they're doing really good. Pete Alonso, but I mean, it's Pete Alonso leading MVP is kind of like Dan Elwell. To start the season, had like 10 home runs, 18 RBIs, batting 350. You know it's not going to, the batting average not going to end like that. Francisco, but my dark horse MVP person is Freddie Freeman.
But he's hurt.
No, he's healthy. He's
been playing. Back. He's back.
Yeah, he's been. Right now they have him at where they have him. They have him 6. He has 8 home runs, almost 30 RBI, batting like 350. Okay, I have him up there, but it's who do you have for Cy Young?
Maybe Yamamoto.
Yamamoto, yeah, his ERA is like he's like he figured it out.
Yeah.
For me, Tucker Screwball, I always butcher his last name for the AL. His ERA is nasty. His wins are insane. Max Fried is a dark horse because I believe the Yankees have won every game that he's appeared in. He hasn't gotten all the win, but they've won every game he's appeared in this year. And he's outrunning some of the people on the team. Now, a lot of people have Paul Skeens above Yamamoto. To me, I can't because of team record. I'm just going to put Yamamoto up there, even though I know that the run differential or the run support is different. But
yeah,
the person I have above Paul Skeens is Hunter Green because his numbers are better, just a smidge better. He got taken out the game the other day with 3.5 innings pitched.
Hang on. Keep talking.
But Hunter Green, his numbers are insane. I mean, he came out near the same draft as Paul Skeens. He's a big arm thrower. But that's all I got with baseball. Now, what I want to do is talk about how the Georgia Bulldogs will only muster up maybe 5 to 7 wins next year with their in-depth quarterback room. They still have Mike Bobo as your offensive coordinator, so I don't know how far the Bulldogs are actually going to go. What's your ceiling for the Bulldogs wins, and what's your floor for the Bulldogs wins? Like high and low. Best and worst case
scenario. Sorry, my daughter is spending the night at my parents', so they were FaceTiming her. The ceiling for the regular season is 12 wins. Ceiling?
No, I'm talking about at season's end. How many wins? Season's end.
The whole total season?
Yeah, like I feel honestly, if I was you, I'd probably say 15 wins and a loss.
16.
16 and like worst case scenario.
7.
I'm not even forget injuries. Oh, worst case is injuries involved in that 7?
Yeah. Everybody in the quarterback room's hurt.
Do the Bulldogs beat Alabama this year?
Yeah.
What is it Alabama has over you?
I don't know. It was still the lingering effects of the Nick Saban era. So some of those players are gone now.
I think you know who I think is going to win, but I think
it's in Athens this year. So
I think this is a time where you'll see what Georgia is made of from the quarterback situation, because I know you have some like wavering confidence. New quarterback, forget how talented they are, and Mike Bobo leading the offense. Because I know it gives you a question mark.
I know we always talk about Mike Bobo, and I know some majority of the fans don't like Mike Bobo, but Mike Bobo's the reason why they just signed, or not signed, but that number 1 quarterback committed.
I know you want to know what he said to him.
He said not only was it the team in the athletic program, but it was Mike Bobo. Kirby Smart said it was Mike Bobo that got him.
Now, do you think Mike Bobo has been the best offensive coordinator the last 8 years?
No. It's been Todd Monken. He won back-to-back, man.
Do you think it's somehow Todd Monken announced on TV, I am a better offensive coordinator than Mike Bobo? He's saying it from rookie minicamp. What would Georgia fans say if they saw Mike Bobo?
I agree.
What would Mike Bobo say?
I mean, you saw what he did. He had the number 1 offense with the Ravens.
If Mike Bobo came and said, I don't think you are. Different offense, different time. What would you say?
This man won back-to-back 90s with Stetson Bennett.
With Stetson Bennett, not Joe Burrow.
Stetson Bennett. Walk on Stetson Bennett.
But I'm going to ask you this question. Who do you trust more in the clutch? JT Daniels or Carson Beck? big game clutch.
Ooh, probably
Undefeated
JT
JT.
Daniels.
Undefeated. Undefeated. Do
Yeah,
you think you would have got those championships if JT never got injured again?
no, probably not.
USC,
I think
I
it was
believe.
just one of those storybook things where the walk on comes in, balls out, and kept the job. Like they honestly, they should write a movie. They should make a movie about that.
Oh, sorry. I thought I saw something that gonna make me mad for us recruiting. It should. So we got another 5-star or 4-star, by the way. Can you guess currently the top 5 recruiting classes for 2026?
It's probably. I'm gonna be honest, probably not. But I know USC's up there.
Number 1, 5-star, 15 4-stars.
It's probably some random teams right now.
Notre Dame, number
Okay.
2. Ohio State, number 3. Penn State, they're 4th with 6 3-stars. In Clemson.
So it's a Big Ten party up at the top.
Yeah, Kansas is 8th with 2 4-stars and 12 3-stars.
12
Illinois,
3-stars already?
yeah, Syracuse with 12 3-stars. North Carolina, 10th. Arkansas, Georgia, 17th with 1 5-star, 5 4-stars, and 2 3-stars. I know it's
none of our heavy hitters are signed yet.
Ole Miss only has 4 4-stars.
We're committed.
Yeah, so I mean,
because they're literally saying, like all the On3 and 24/7 YouTube pages, they're saying that since Georgia got that number 1 quarterback, he's influencing a lot of other number 1 guys to come.
Now, SEC, you are 4th behind Arkansas, who has a 5-star. They got a big time player. A&M and LSU, but then you got you got to factor in transfer portal with Georgia too.
Yeah,
because the top 2 receivers from Miami last year, the ones that didn't get drafted, went to Georgia and Colorado. The top 2 wide receivers. What's your expectation of USC this year? Because last year,
what is your expectation?
Hold on, talk real quick.
What is your expectation?
Hold on, I'm gonna show you something. How do you think Branch is gonna do this year?
Zachariah Branch?
I still follow him. He looks like real good.
I think he'll be all right. I think he'll do good. I'm not going to say he's going to have like a Heisman type year, but I think he'll be a big impact player for us.
I think he's someone who you're going to see the flash he had. Only issue is he just had trouble getting open.
Yeah, but you say all that, but you were hot when that man committed to us.
Yeah,
you were hot.
He's better as a slot
time,
guy.
You won't even say that guy's name anymore.
But he's a slot guy because we had other receivers that had better hands, but more traditional people. But you can't deny speed, especially kick return. Okay, so here we go, right here. We beat LSU last year, 27-20. Our defense got a lot better. We beat Utah State 48-0. We lost to Michigan 24-27. We allowed 25 passing yards.
Yeah, but Michigan ran it down y'all's throat.
Yeah, but if you see the difference in defense,
you were watching that game in the Bristol stands.
I wasn't even disappointed because we're one of the best passing defenses.
I mean, that look on your face looked pretty disappointed.
Yeah, because it was just a close game. We beat Wisconsin 38-21, who turned out to be a decent team. We lost to Minnesota 17-24 because we couldn't get a stop. We let them score on 4th down with no time left on the clock. We lost to Penn State 30-33 in OT. We could have won that game, but we couldn't stop Tyler Warren, who turned out to be one of the best tight ends. We lost to Maryland 28-29 on the last possession of the game with no time left on the clock. We beat Rutgers 42-20. We lost to Washington 21-26 on their last possession of the game. We beat Nebraska 28-20. We beat UCLA by 6. We lost to Notre Dame because 35-49, but that's only because Miller Moss threw 2 pick sixes in the closing minutes of the 4th quarter. And we went in and beat Texas A&M 35-31. So you can see if things go the way, we could have go undefeated or we could have what we did. So for me as a USC fan, it's a big difference from the Caleb Williams era because Caleb Williams had to put up 1,000 yards of offense. And we still give it 700 yards.
That's why he won a Heisman.
Honestly, I'm sorry, but he ran around like it was a loaf of bread.
I've been seeing.
For me, real quick, you have to say 13 wins by season's end. Ceiling floor as a USC fan, 9 wins.
So you're saying they're going to win the Big Ten?
No, I'm saying like ceiling, we can get 13 wins. Floor, 9 wins. There's only one team I'm actually worried in the Big Ten. 2.
I've been seeing a lot of posts and a lot of articles saying that, and you're probably one of them, that Georgia got super lucky last year winning the SEC.
No. With playing a college football game so much, you don't have to win your conference and win the championship.
Right. And they were saying that the SEC runs through Texas.
Last year, hey, look, what I tell you, last year, Texas was technically the best SEC team, even though they lost to Georgia. But honestly,
it was 0-2.
What do you mean?
Texas went 0-2.
No, I'm saying like on paper,
and they had arguably the easiest SEC schedule.
Yeah, but on paper, Texas was the best SEC team. But then you can make an argument for Georgia. But then you can make an argument for Alabama because they beat Georgia. But then they had that ugly bowl game loss. But we all know that Alabama has a thing on Georgia.
And they lost to Arkansas.
And
Arkansas only held Bama to 3 points.
Yeah, but Arkansas.
And they had the Vandy loss.
But Vandy was a lot better. It wasn't like traditional Vandy.
No, yeah, Vandy was for sure.
Yeah, going into this year, if you're not a Georgia fan, just a football fan, how would you rank the top teams going into this year?
It's
unbiased.
Hard. I always go. All
of the top teams are having quarterback changes.
Right, but I guess and this would be for any conference, like who won the Big Ten?
Michigan.
So I would say arguably Michigan is the best Big Ten team. So that would mean I think Georgia is the best SEC team because they won the SEC championship. So Texas definitely went farther, but they didn't get that SEC title.
If you're unbiased, and well, also remember this: every time a Big 12 team comes to the SEC, regardless of who they are, they find their way in the SEC championship game or find their way high in the playoff for some reason.
But usually they win because Missouri won it.
I think Texas went through some things because, honestly, last year
they couldn't handle the bright lights.
No, I'll say the defense. But who do you think was a better quarterback, Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers? Just as they were last year, who would you give the reins? No, I'm saying who would you have given the reins to last year, Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning if you were a coach?
Quinn.
I would have gave it to Arch Manning because I think Quinn Ewers has that same thing Carson Beck has. Versus a regular team, average team, slightly above average, as long as the defense does their part, they won't throw the game away. But you see when Carson Beck played, honestly, I don't blame Carson Beck for him getting out of that game. Who made that play call right before halftime?
2 seconds to go. Let's try a 50-yard bomb.
And what do you think? What's the name was thinking? Oh, we about to blow him up.
Yeah.
If that injury didn't happen, what do you think Georgia would have won?
I feel like they still would have won the game because really nothing. I mean, Gunner brought a little bit of momentum, but nothing really big happened after that. Like you had the big run where his helmet got knocked off, and that hyped the team up. Like, yeah, they scored a touchdown. But
do you think he would have beat Notre Dame?
I think it would have been a better. I think it would have been a better matchup. You would have had, because I will say, even though we all know what Carson Beck probably was going through last year with personal life, but
you were going through the William Byron situation.
Yeah, I think he probably would have figured it out and got it done
if he was focused. So you're saying women distract you from your main goal?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Seeing that Georgia versus Notre Dame game was the first time, forget who they had a quarterback, but the first time I saw Georgia getting bullied in the trenches. Because what was that? What were all the SEC Georgia fans thinking when we played Notre Dame? They were thinking about that game with Manti Te'o.
Yeah, where Jake Fromm went in there as a freshman.
But Notre Dame was bullying Georgia in the run game. I was like, even me as a Georgia hater, I was like, nah, wow, okay. The quarterback had 25 rush attempts and was running up the field.
I mean, he also did that against, what was it, Ohio State. So
yeah, to me, if you ask me the three best teams last year I saw on the field, Penn State, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. Because what did they all have? They were all physical on the line of scrimmage, defense.
yeah,
And you can see what they did in the draft. They all had top players on defense get drafted.
It's something about the northern teams. They always have these white boy defensive ends, man.
Defense ends, and you already know they random 6'5" linebacker.
Dude.
Like, imagine if you saw Jack Sawyer. I'm coming back for a year. I'm transferring to Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And at 6'5", 245, just
it's so different with the North and South because, like, down here, you got. I mean, if Georgia has a white guy on defense, you're like, I mean, besides Dan Jackson and Chaz Chambliss, I mean, those were some good guys, but
like when you go to the South, you expect to see. If you would have told me that Georgia signed a 4-star recruit, he's 6'7", 375, oh, that's normal for you.
Yeah.
But if I told you Penn State got this 6'6", 235 animal at linebacker, what color is he?
He's white.
It's like different areas. Like if you want to,
it's weird.
Like if you want, let's say if I told you it's a 6'1", 213 wide receiver who may have attitude problem, but he's the best. Where do you think he's from? Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Just look at what's his name, Kadarius Toney. Regardless of what we think about, but he's Super Bowl champ. But look at what he was doing in Florida. I've never seen someone with trusty knees like that.
I saw something. Who was more feared, him or Tavon Austin?
Oh, it's Tavon Austin.
I saw that and I was like, man, I don't even know if that's really an argument.
Because to me, what's his face? It was almost like he didn't live up to potential. First of all, the team. If you would have put Kadarius Toney on a Tim Tebow team or
if he was on that Tim Tebow
like
team,
a big
that'd
Florida
be nasty.
team, because it was almost like when Florida played you last year. I honestly thought they were going to beat you at the first drive, but then as they started talking, I was like, they're missing 14 different starters on defense. And the backups, they said they got 7 cornerbacks. They're like, Carson Beck gonna have a field day. It's me and you out there covering.
And they almost beat Ole Miss that last year too.
Who do you think dominated you more physically, Ole Miss or Notre Dame?
Ole Miss. That was a beatdown.
That was Ole Miss national championship game.
Yeah, it was. That was their biggest.
Do you think it would have been Penn State last year? Either quarterback.
Do what?
Do you think Georgia could have stopped Tyler Warren? You would have played Penn State last year.
I don't think we would have stopped Tyler Warren, but I think we would have been able to hang with Penn State a little bit.
You think you would have beat Ohio State with either quarterback you had?
Probably not.
Because I'm gonna ask you this: who on your team was going to stop that man wearing number 4?
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just thinking who's going to catch the ball because nobody could catch the ball last year.
You feel more confident about your team this year, even with the quarterback?
That wide receiver room, I'm feeling pretty good about it, even with Nitro leaving. But
what about defensive line?
Has he committed anywhere yet?
Did he deal with his situation?
Oh, I forgot about that. I thought I saw he entered the portal.
Because when I saw on my Facebook a girl, I was really like, this Georgia football player ran into my apartment with his car. Like, honestly, if you're Kirby Smart and you're sitting, your wife asks you a question, when are we going to stop having these issues? Would you ban Dodge Chargers?
I would just ban cars altogether.
If Kirby Smart came out and said, I'm going to ban Dodge for you.
Oh, he transferred to Purdue.
I like that because that's so far away.
Yeah.
And it's Indiana. I like.
Yeah.
Also, a team to watch out for is Indiana. I thought Indiana could have beat Ohio State last year, but their quarterback, because defensively Indiana was good, but you know they had the Iowa situation. Like, Iowa had the top defense, but you after 72 hours of work could have been a quarterback. But also for that, how do you feel about Nick Saban being like in the commissioner position for college football?
I hope it happens.
And what I told you the other day when Hannah Heather Dunnis, a woman who speaks for the committee, said that all the committee, all 12 people, are in agreement that the college football playoff format needs to change, but they can't because of politics. How do you feel about that?
What are the politics? What does politics have to do with sports?
Or I guess like college football politics, like this team, because like
Yeah.
if you look at a game, why if you make it as an at-large team, you have an easier schedule than the number one team. You have a
I don't
bye.
know. I guess because it's
Like,
facing
you can
lower
be
seeds.
you can be the fifth seed and you can play Montana Tech, but the number one team plays Oregon or Tennessee.
And that's with a first round bye.
That's with the first round. You saw when on our dynasty I was Texas. I had to play a weak team,
I
but then
think
I
I
wanted
think
to
the
play
way
Sacramento State.
I think the way they should do the seeding, the top 4 teams get a bye. What is this man doing?
Go ahead, battery thing came on.
Oh no! What I was going to say was, I think the top, regardless of what the conference, I don't care if it's 4 SEC teams, but I think when the playoffs start, the top 4 teams should have the first round bye.
Okay, so
And then you go from there.
So for the top 4 teams, do you think I'm okay with the fifth at-large team because we have like 8 conferences, but do you think, let's say Notre Dame, let's say they go undefeated, they have a slightly tougher schedule, which they just announced a 12-year schedule with Clemson. Do you think that, okay, so let's say, what's a random team? Arkansas wins the SEC championship game. They have 2 losses, the SEC champions, and Purdue wins the Big Ten championship game. Now, do you see it to where, let's say Georgia was 11-1, no, 12-0, and they lost to Arkansas, who was like a 10-win team?
Yeah.
Do you see a scenario where you have the Georgia team still ahead of Arkansas because Arkansas was so far back, but they're still SEC champions? Because I don't know.
I just want to know what happened in the season for that to be going on.
Because do you think that if you forget the teams, forget who's the best, do you think if like a random team wins the SEC championship or any other conference that wasn't quote unquote the best team, but they beat the best team, that they should get an automatic bid, or it should just be weighed at like a scale?
I think I just make it more simple. If you're in the top 12, you're in.
Now, only amendment I would put, I want an at-large team in there because then it's like we give it, because then I think it should be at-large because you look at college basketball, at conference champion.
Well, if that's the case, then you just might as well just add the whole top 25.
Well, no, like one other team in there because I think it should be something done with the buys. How would you feel if they said, well, the top 4 teams that have buys get to choose who they play?
No.
You don't think that?
No, you don't get to choose.
Honestly, you know what? You know what it should be like? You know who does it good in college football? FCS. The FCS. They should just exactly copy the FCS because when's the last time you heard anyone complain about FCS football?
To be fair, nobody's really watching that.
Well, I was watching it last year.
Well, you watch everything.
FCS, let's see. That is true. Playoff format. Okay, so the FCS playoff format, it says it involves 24 teams in a single elimination bracket, culminating in a national championship game. Of these 24 teams, 10 are automatic qualifiers, conference champions. So all conference champions get in. And 14 at-large bids selected by the FCS playoff committee where they vote. And the top 8 teams receive first-round buys, while the remaining 16 teams play in the first round. The winner of each game advances to rounds of the championship. I think it should be similar to that, but do you think it should be 24 teams? What do you think the sweet number is to find a championship? Because I'm okay with 12.
Yeah, I'm okay with 12.
Hey, look, we complain about this. but we all know it's better than the BCS. Do you still know how? Which one is more complicated? The format of how NASCAR determines who gets the pole if it's rained out, or the BCS?
I don't know. The BCS was kind of weird.
Because I remember your uncle kept talking about Kyle Larson on the pole. I'm like, how did they calculate that? Was it like,
yeah, because during the COVID stuff, because they weren't qualified.
I didn't even count those polls. I count those polls just as much people who hate Bubba Wallace when he wins at a rain shortened race. Like, come on now. Who is the most hated person in sports? Like, if they, like, just in general, just like, I can't stand him, or team. Who would you say the top 4 is? Single person, player, driver, or team? Like, when they come out, how you would never wear a Phillies jersey or a Mets jersey.
Top hated. That's a hard one.
I'm gonna just throw Bubba Wallace in it just because it's just
that's Bubba.
Jose Altuve.
Jose Altuve for sure.
So if it announced that the Braves traded Arcia for Jose Altuve, how would you feel?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it because Arcia's got to go.
Would you get a Jose Altuve jersey?
No.
I probably you'll forget and like, who was that word? That short guy. Are you gonna put him in left field? How the Astros got him?
Yeah, that was wild that I see that.
Because they put him at leadoff because he needs more time to get to the dugout.
Wow, because he's got little legs or something?
Could be. Who is the most hated team in baseball? Just in general. Like the consensus.
Either the Yankees or the Mets.
I feel like the Yankees are lovable now because who hates Aaron Judge?
You know what? It's probably still the Astros.
Over the Dodgers?
Yeah, probably.
The only reason Shohei is on there because who hates Shohei?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't hate Shohei.
Oh, also I forgot to tell you, I went on the baseball topic. Baseball is introducing a new stat next year.
What's that?
It guaranteed. It's going to be a separate total for home runs. So you have your home run, but the second one is if it's how many home runs are able to leave the park, like the actual park. That's going to be a separate total. So let's say Shohei has 57 home runs, but he has 22 home runs that was able to leave every ballpark.
Like when you say ballpark, like over the stands?
Like Barry Bonds and McCovey Cove, like out of the ballpark.
Why is that a stat?
I guess to see because you know what it's like. If I told you that Aaron Judge hit 45 home runs this year on a short deck, would you count those home runs the same way if, let's say, you hit 45 home runs outside of the Diamondback Stadium? What fan wants to see that?
I forgot there was an ARCA race tonight.
Who you got in an ARCA race? A full-time driver or a part-time driver?
I don't think there is a part-time driver in here.
It's all full-time?
Actually, there is. Lawless Allen's on the pole. Oh, God. Thad Moffitt second. William Sawalich third.
When's the last time a non-ARCA driver who isn't a full-time driver in ARCA didn't win a race or got the pole? Every time.
God. I remember not too long ago, Brandon Jones ran an ARCA race. Or Eric Jones.
I got a trick question for you. Do you think Kyle Busch is bullying people or Kyle Larson when they go to that Xfinity Series or Truck Series and win?
No.
If Kyle Larson said, I'm running full-time ARCA next year while doing full-time Cup Series, would you think that's bullying? And an HMS car injury?
Yes.
How do you think Kyle Larson would do in a slow ARCA car in the field?
Looking tough in the Raider, the silver and black.
Who's going to have more total yards, him or your boy in Atlanta? Total yards.
Between him and Bijan?
Total yards. Because I know you probably trust the Raiders coaching staff more than you do the Falcon coach with using Bijan. Because I think they underuse Bijan.
Yeah, they barely.
Right now, if they called you with your college football Madden history of playing, they said, "Look, man, we see how you do in a game. Set up our offense. You're gonna be the running backs coach. Do you think you can do better with Bijan?"
No, I don't even want to be the running back coach. Put me in tight end. I got Kyle Pitts to work with. He's getting 110 catches.
You think you can generate more yards than them than the offense?
I mean, I don't have like a playbook. We'll just run like a Madden playbook, but I could get Kyle Pitts 100 catches easily.
If somehow they give you like college football Madden, like this, what you got, set it up. Would you be on the sideline? Would you be upstairs?
I'd be upstairs.
They gonna pan to you. You gonna start with the glass. You gonna look like Mike Bobo looking down, like bro over here. How would you use Bijan Robinson? Versus how the Falcons are using him.
He's in on every play.
What type of running back or like other running back would you pair with him?
I mean, Tyler Algiel's a good backup because he can come in on a 3rd and short and get that 1 yard or 2 yards.
With that, who do you think has the best like running back room going into next year? We're like, okay, that it's kind of hard to find a team better than that running back room. To me, it's gonna be the Lions.
I wasn't even gonna say the Lions. I was gonna say the Browns.
Well, news. The Brown GM said is increasingly unlikely.
They're going to sign Nick Chubb.
And I don't know if you seen Nick Chubb in the gym. It didn't even look like he got that knee injury.
Dude, if he's a free agent right now,
go to Atlanta.
No, because you got Bijan. Nick Chubb's not a backup.
You can't. BJ. You know what? I got a team. The Rams. I like BJ. Oh no, they got Wims there. Send him with Jets. Send him with the Jets.
Who?
Send him to the Jets.
Who? Bijan?
No.
Nick Chubb.
They have a starting running back, but it'll be less pressure and he can get his foot back. Or Jonathan Brooks is out again, the top draft pick for the Panthers. Go to the Panthers.
Or I was going to say, what about the Bengals?
Yeah, go to the Bengals.
That'd be a good pair.
He knows the team.
You're still in the same state.
Literally still in the same state. How we going into this year? Rank the NFC South. Not as a Falcons fan, but like for like 2, who would get the most wins?
I'd go Bucks, Falcons, Saints, Panthers.
Yeah, the Saints getting more wins than the Panthers after what Bryce Young did at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr probably not starting the season, but he's gonna be out for the first 8 weeks.
That's fine.
I have the Bucks, Panthers, Falcons.
You have the Panthers get more wins than the Falcons
because of the off season, what they did, and the way Bryce Young played in the year, and one last year the Falcons had the easiest schedule.
Bryce Young was playing for his future right there. He ain't gonna play like that again.
He was rated. No, he was rated. They said he had the worst offensive line in the last 25 years. They had the worst offensive line. And they gave it the most yards in defense. Honestly, you saw when he beat the Falcons. Honestly, do you think the Falcons underperformed last year?
Yeah, because...
Now, granted, by me putting them how I put them, I don't have the Falcons winning 6 games. It's going to be the same every year.
Kirk Cousins screwed Atlanta.
No, I don't blame Kirk. I blame...
He didn't tell him he was hurt. He was playing hurt.
Blake, how many NFL players do you think play hurt?
Yes, but when you're the main piece and your play significantly decreases, I knew as soon as he started playing shitty, something was wrong. How do you go from winning 6 games in a row and then you can't even throw the ball?
I'm gonna ask you this: if Carson Beck, if it wasn't under the close that he got hurt and he tried to play, you think he would lose respect?
Yes.
Because he tried to play?
Yes.
You had people in the Pittsburgh Steelers who tore their fingers off, and the teammates told him, if you don't play, you're a wuss. And he said the doctor took the finger off and went out there and played.
When you are the main piece and you signed all that money.
Hines Ward played in the NFL with no ACLs.
That's Hines Ward. He is different.
Look.
That man was still... Kirk Cousins was still recovering from an Achilles tear.
I don't blame him because I don't know what it feels like to get a team to sign to all that money and then you say you're hurt, because then it's like you playing for the fans. The fans say, "Oh, you went to steal this money." I'm not mad at him. You know why?
Well, he
Because
lost his job because of it.
I think he's gonna be fine.
I mean,
But
yeah, he's got a lot of money.
the Falcons in the turn of that did the best thing they could have ever did, because how many people are ridiculing, why would you take Michael Penix? Imagine if you didn't take Michael Penix. Who's gonna be the quarterback? Who's the backup besides him? What if they would have said, we're gonna go in this year, re-sign Desmond Ritter? I don't think he's a bad player, college football. Like, he was a pretty decent player, but how would the Falcons fans feel you got Desmond Ritter? But honestly, the schedule comes out, and I hope the Falcons had the easy schedule last year. So I think the Panthers, Falcons, and Bucks will all be around 7 to 11 wins, however you want to put it, because it's a crapshoot every year who's going to answer me. I think the Bucks are the best team, like trustworthy team. Now, NFC East.
Eagles.
By the way, I got the Giants getting 6 wins, at least 6
Eagles,
wins.
Not the Redskins. Commanders.
You don't think Jane Daniels going to take a sophomore slump?
Nah.
I think the way they built the team, Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I think it's Dan Quinn. He's built to win.
The Cowboys, I think, are closer because the wide receiver and the offensive line is good.
Yeah, I was going to go Cowboys and Giants.
I think it's going to be between the Commanders and Cowboys flip-flopping, because, you can be the best team in the NFL, but you still lose to your rivals.
Yeah.
You remember when the Falcons had Matt Ryan, but somehow the Saints would still play good?
Well, they also had Drew Brees.
Now, a list came out with the top 5 NFL quarterbacks as we currently stand, by talent, by accomplishment, by everything. Can you guess the top 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, probably can.
4th, but not in order. Not in order.
Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
So that's 3. I got 2 more.
Lamar Jackson.
Okay, yeah, Lamar. And then the 5th one, I feel like this is going to be a toss-up between a lot of people. I want to say Joe. I was going to say Joe Burrow, but probably not. Okay.
No, they rated. Okay, now a lot of people were mad that Jalen Hurts in the top 5.
Why? He just won the Super Bowl.
People say, well, Chase Daniel was saying, well, no, but you look at the talent. Just put Jalen Hurts on the Cincinnati Bengals, and someone said, well, Joe Burrow didn't even make the playoff with the Cincinnati Bengals last year. Right. Look at this. When you draft a quarterback, bottom line, what do you want as a franchise? What do you want for your quarterback? What's the success?
A leader. Being a leader. That's what I want, a leader. But
last 4 years, who has more wins than Jalen Hurts? Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Last 4 years, who have more touchdowns than Jalen Hurts? Josh Allen. Last 4 years, he's been to 2 Super Bowls. And both Super Bowls, he's way outperformed Patrick Mahomes, and either one.
Yeah.
Either one. Forget the Super Bowl MVP. Someone said, now, as like if you're just starting a Madden franchise, I think I know who you probably choose. Who's better right now? Justin Herbert. Because people think Justin Herbert is better than Jalen Hurts. Justin Herbert, his only playoff game I can remember, he was up, 28-7 or 35-7. They lost the game. Because they said Justin Herbert's on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and he's a Hall of Fame.
Well, I think not even him, but I think the Chargers. I think they're finally. Jim Harbaugh has rebuilt that team, so they should have a good year this year.
And I know you don't like this quote I bring up, but as far as if you just look at paper, Dak Prescott. Only reason I bring him up, how do you judge a top 5 quarterback? Are you purely going off of what they do in like a t-shirt and shorts throwing the ball, how pretty accomplishments are? How do you weigh a top 5 quarterback? Like, who would your top 5 be based on your criteria?
What we just said.
Some people say Matt Stafford should be in there over Joe Burrow. They say
you could put Matt Stafford there. I mean, Matt Stafford.
Who would you take right now for 1 year?
That's my boy
on the Falcons? Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow, just 1 year.
Just because he was my quarterback growing up, Matt Stafford.
I'll see you in the stand for that Matt Stafford jersey. Like, hey,
I had one. I had a Georgia one back in the day.
Is he the best Georgia quarterback of all time?
No.
If Kirby Smart had to just choose based on skill set, not a compliment, who would he take out of all the Georgia quarterbacks leaguing this year? Forget what they accomplished just off of pure skill set. It's like an open tryout, all in their primes, whatever their primes are, and leadership.
This is totally a joke, but he'd probably take Jake Fromm. Honestly, he'd probably take Stetson Bennett.
Is there a difference between Jake Fromm and Gunnar Stockton and their play style? Because who didn't like either one of them in college? They both can galvanize. That Gunnar Stockton
from Georgia.
That Gunnar Stockton, his claim to fame, if he don't play another down, is when he ran over that Texas safety.
They're both Southern country boys.
God fearing, just like look, the towns they're from probably love them. Probably never did anything wrong.
For sure.
Who has a better hairline? Whose hair would you take? No, whose hair would you take? Brock Bowers currently, or Gunnar Stockton?
Can I take the Brock Bowers hairline money?
Hairline money. You know who needs a Joe Logano hair transplant?
Who?
I know it didn't work for Cop Bus, man.
Oh, before we jump to that, Brock Bowers skipped out on, I guess, spring practice or whatever to go finish his degree.
I love that.
Yeah. I think he just graduated today or yesterday.
In other news, USC news, Dana White reconfirmed just today after the weigh-ins. But I was mad at what the USC did. They're doing my boy Ilia Tapoya wrong. If Bilal wins, Islam is facing Ilia. If Bilal loses, Jack Della will face Islam. But did you know the caveat to it? Islam just announced, I won't be relinquishing my lightweight belt if I go up either. So Ilia is the only one in history that has relinquished his belt.
Wow.
But everyone at welterweight said, besides one person, they will back away for Islam to come up. What do you think that betting line would be for Jack Della if he, let's say, knocks out a Bilal if Jack Della faced Islam?
Oh, God.
Because Islam be more of his natural weight.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a rough night.
What do you think Islam and Tapor, what do you think that line would look like?
I feel like that line would be pretty close, actually.
Because Ilia was on the biggest biggest talking show in Spain 2 days ago. And he broke down for 30 minutes everything about Islam that he studied. First of all, I don't know when's the last time he's counter studying opponents? I mean, he kind of is, but I can beat anyone. Don't worry about it. Someone called out Michael Chandler today, a UFC fighter by the name of Grant Dawson. He's a wrestler.
Is Brendan a Jimmy Johnson fan all of a sudden?
Yeah, because they asked that question. More people know about LeBron James.
He just sent a picture. I guess he's drinking a beer, and he's got a number 48 koozie.
I can see that man at work when he's on the break just watching Jimmy Johnson videos. Because I always see when Jimmy Johnson was winning.
He was a little kid.
He's like, man, I didn't even realize how good Jimmy Johnson was. Man, I'm gonna segue real quick based on that. Right now, at prime, Jimmy Johnson is racing with Chad Canals. Who would fans say is a better driver, Jimmy Johnson or Kyle Larson? And who's your top? Who would you make? Give me the era of the driver too. Your top 4 HMS drivers if they start next year. Any era, but in this era,
Jimmy Johnson era where he won 5 in a row.
So that would be in the 48.
Then you got,
and you can mismatch the numbers too. Whoever
you got
want.
prime Jeff Gordon in the 90s.
That's the best drive ever.
And then I'll do Kyle Larson right now.
And who would be the last guy? Now it doesn't mean what they did in HMS, but you can put another driver if they formally drive from HMS. Go ahead and say the name.
Busch.
Now, if that team went into next year with the way HMS performing, who's getting the most wins?
Well, first of all, the first question would be who's driving the number 5?
It'd be right now. If it was draft, who has right for ownership? And so, what would Kyle Busch drive? What number would it be?
That's what I was saying.
They can put the 54. They can take the 5 out.
He could drive the 25.
5 and 54. 5 and 54. Betting odds. How would you rank who gets the most wins going into that next season?
Dude, I don't know, man.
Because if you tell me mid-90 Jeff Gordon and Kyle Larson now, I'm not helping no team, man. You should be good enough to get a win on your own.
Yeah.
With Ray Abraham, crew chief for Jeff Gordon, Chad Canals, and what's the name? What's Kyle Larson's crew chief?
Cliff Daniels.
Who would be Kyle Busch's crew chief?
We'll bring back the boy from the 18. What was it?
Gustafson?
No, that's William Byron's.
I thought it was.
What was that? Adam Stevens. That was that guy's.
Who would fans say the best?
Popular over there.
That's not me.
Oh, just hear vibrations.
Oh, nothing's going on. Okay, so how would you rank those 4 drivers? How would Eric said rank those drivers on a power ranking? No, you're ranking it, but you're using his power ranking.
I'd go just because it was 5 in a row, Jimmy Johnson, but it's a close second to Jeff Gordon. Then I go Kyle. Then I go Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson. Imagine
if next year NASCAR said we are switching to you can run a full time in the series, 2 driver team. Who would imagine if Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson were both HMS equipment and they were both running full time Xfinity series? That would start a team rivalry.
If Kyle Busch ran RCR equipment in the Xfinity, he'd be more successful than he is in the Cup right now.
Why hasn't Kyle Busch run any RCR races with a third RCR car?
Like he said on what was it, DBC a couple weeks ago, he has nothing lined up for Xfinity. How?
If they can make a race car out of stand there like it's Days of Thunder for Jeffrey Earnhardt and Larry McMurdo come away from the cutaway car to lead him.
Exactly. You're telling me you can't get him in the 33 for a couple races? When they got Austin Hill and Jesse Love making random Cup starts all of a sudden?
So you're saying Jesse Love can get Cup start, but Kyle Busch can't get Xfinity start? Right. Who's the best Xfinity driver of all time?
Kyle Busch.
Where do you rank Jesse Love in Cup Series all time? Do you rank him in the top 1,000?
He's way down there.
If you had your wish, if you were NASCAR, you had the power, what team would you put Kyle Busch on next year? What would his situation be next year? You decided. You decide Kyle Busch's fate next year. Who would you decide? It's going to be a 2-year deal.
2011.
So you're choosing over Corey. If it was now said 2211 releases Corey Haim and sounds Kyle Busch, would you be okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
You be okay with that?
Yeah.
What if he went to Spire? He already establishes.
I feel like that's a lateral move, though.
Who do you trust more? You always see Spire up front, and you know
what happens to them.
That's different, but at a plate race, you know they're going to be up there.
Look what happened.
What team would you rather sign to in a new NASCAR game?
Probably Spire.
RCR, you trust them more.
Right, but look what happened. Carson Hocevar was on the pole. Michael McDowell was
Carson
third.
Hocevar does Carson Hocevar things in the middle of the race.
It wasn't his fault. It was the strategy, and he got caught a lap down.
Do you blame? I don't blame Michael McDowell or the team for what happened. Just that he was just on there.
It seems like anytime Spire's up front, they end up in the back. How did this turn into a NASCAR podcast all of a sudden?
Hold on, I was going to segue to something else. I'm still going to choose Spire. You know why? Because at least they're up front almost everywhere. One of the cars can be up front. Some of the race, I know you see. What was the one race where you said Kyle Busch was running 29? So like, I thought he was out the race.
Yeah. But if all that being said, where's Justin Haley been?
He's shaking along.
You think that Rodney Childers was really not performing that well? Is that why?
No, I think Rodney Childers said they have a bunch of engineers in, so they didn't want Rodney to be more hands-on. Who would you say the equivalent Kyle Busch is in baseball teams?
Right now?
Yeah, just in general for baseball. If it was a baseball fan saying, I don't understand NASCAR, who is Kyle Busch in baseball terms as far as the team or player?
Kyle Busch right now.
Yeah.
The Braves.
You're like, what's going on?
They got everything to be successful, but just somehow can't piece it together.
Who's Chase Elliott? Is Chase Elliott I won't say the Nationals, but he's a team that they won a World Series, but besides that, have they ever really been the top team?
The Diamondbacks.
I look at Carson Hall as far as the Diamondbacks.
Okay, we'll give Chase Elliott. How about the Royals?
I can say that because now they got Bobby Witt. Who is Kyle Larson?
Right now, the hot and rising team. Padres.
The Astros?
Padres.
I'm going to say the Astros because...
the Astros are hated.
Because some people hate Kyle Larson because they're tired of seeing him win. Who would you say... Who are your top 5 favorite athletes of all time? Forget whatever they accomplish. I'm talking about this at that moment, man, that's my favorite athlete just all time. Not the best, but personal favorites.
In any sport?
Any sport, any driver, just your personal favorites. They don't have to be the best in the sport, just how Grady Sizemore.
Chipper Jones.
Over Martin Prado?
Well, yeah.
Dang, over Tyler Pastornicky? I can't believe that.
Yes, over
Anderson Simmons? I believe I heard you say Anderson Simmons 1,500 times.
Matt Stafford. Jeez, this Kyle is really... Busch. Yeah, Kyle Busch. This is really hard. I got
ISO Joe.
I was literally thinking Joe Johnson. I don't know though.
That's 3. Boy, are you putting ISO Joe in there?
Yeah, we'll put Joe Johnson
4.
in there.
That's
4, and then 5.
Skateboarding, surfing.
Oh, skate.
Any if it's considered a sport, golf. It don't matter.
Travis Pastrana. There you go.
Over Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
Travis Pastrana over Ken Block? I can see it's Travis Pastrana. For me, the personal favorite, Shaun White, because he did everything. Shaun White, Jeff Gordon, had everything Jeff Gordon as a kid. Rafael Nadal for tennis. It wasn't that I really loved tennis, but when you see a certain player play and how they play, it's like you fall in love with the sport.
Yeah.
Kind of like if Kyle Busch never existed, would you be as big of a NASCAR fan?
I probably still would be, but God, I'd probably be a Chase Elliott fan.
Who would you even like if Kyle Busch wasn't even racing?
Probably Chase Elliott. No, not right now. Not right now. Like if Kyle Busch was to retire, let me reiterate that. If Kyle Busch was to retire right now, it would not be Chase Elliott. But if Kyle Busch never existed, it probably would.
If Kyle Busch retired right now, it'd be Chase Elliott?
No, I said it wouldn't be.
I feel like you say Ryan Preece or Chris Buescher.
Honestly, it'd probably be between Tyler Reddick or Ryan Blaney.
You're only doing Ryan Blaney because your wife would agree with it. Happy wife, happy life.
But if Kyle Busch never existed in all eternity, I would probably somehow end up a Chase Elliott fan. Just because, he's a Georgia boy.
Segue. If I take Barry Bonds out, Hunter Pence would get some love for me. My favorite baseball player.
No, great. I thought Grady Sizemore was your favorite baseball player.
Yes, but it's other players that. No, forget it. Who are your top 5 favorite baseball players of all time?
Oh,
top
God.
5.
Okay. Top 5. Josh Hamilton. Chipper Jones. Mike Trout.
I'm surprised at that one.
Bryce Harper.
No, Martin Prado.
And I'm about to I had one more to go. Martin Prado.
You to go see that. Or, no, you skipped school to see Brian McCann.
Yeah, who's your top 5?
Grady Sizemore. Hunter Pence. Shohei is one of my favorite players of all time because I called that before he even hit a bat in Major League Baseball. I don't know if that Pines got by. What did I say when Shohei just signed? I say it was going to be great.
Yeah.
4th, Tim Lincecum. And 5th, you're not going to like this. Jorge Posada beat out the other guy.
Honorable mention for me, Cody Ross.
Oh, no. Take Jorge Posada out. Dustin Pedroia.
That's a good one.
Dustin Pedroia was like if Mark Wahlberg played baseball. Do you think Dustin Pedroia is a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he should be.
Last one I got for me, NBA. Okay, NBA playoffs. The Boston Celtics. People keep forgetting they won a championship last year. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are the 2 best players on the team. They've went 25 for 100 in the last 2 games in 3-point shots.
Dang.
They shoot a lot.
Oh, segue, or I know we're talking about it. What was Jason Tatum thinking at the end of that game?
The coach Missoula said the play before the Knicks scored.
Where he ran right through and dunked it with like 18 seconds. What were you doing?
He said we ran the exact same play, but the defense countered it.
Yeah, I felt like they basically let him score.
Yeah, I think they was okay with that because they didn't want to foul because they didn't have a foul to give. But the next player, Jalen Brunson, won the clutch player of the league. Anytime they give him the ball, they all just move out the way, and he makes all. They say he's almost like 60% from the field in any type of shot when he has the ball down. Now, in a post game conference, Jaylen Brown said, "Well, we got to figure out what's wrong. We got to find a way to win." Blake, in any sport, what would the locker room be like if you were up? You know you're better than the other team. You're up 20 to 25 points in each game, and you lost in the closing minutes at your home. How would you feel going on the road to New York?
Oh,
they haven't won.
I wouldn't feel too
good.
The
fans gonna be quiet?
No.
Every celebrity.
And then you go down and you throw up, or didn't it got blocked or something like?
It got blocked by the same player in game 1. He stole the ball with no time left, and he blocked the shot.
I just feel like in that situation, I know I don't keep up with basketball that much, but I know enough that Jason Tatum is not that player.
Like, he said he wants to be the face of the league. Now, if you look at him as an NBA player, he is an elite player that can do everything because he said the mentor of Kobe Bryant. But I heard someone say, interesting saying, they said that Jason Tatum is the Kobe Bryant of Paul George's. Talent-wise, who's better than him? What more could you want from a player?
Wild statement.
But what could you want more than that? As far like if you said that Christopher Blake has to give me an NBA player, and I take all the skill set, but you want to know the one difference between them. that separates good players and great players. What would Kobe Bryant be doing at the end of these 2 games? And he know his team just gave up the 20-point lead.
He'd be in there cussing everybody out. We got to get this done.
He like, we ain't losing this game because you know what people say that yes, the Celtics missed all the threes, but where's the defense at?
Yeah,
You let the team come back.
27 points.
Now, the Celtics are the best road. They won more road games this year than they did at home. They're the best road team. How confident? To me, the next game 3 is a must win for them.
Yeah.
At home?
Yes.
Like in your lifetime, do you have the Knicks ever won a championship? Last time they won a championship in 1973. They got the Patrick Ewing days in the 90s, but Michael Jordan in the league. They got that 1 year where Carmelo Anthony beat the Hawks, and then they went to the second round. To me, I want the Knicks to win the championship, but also, what do you think about Draymond Green as a player if you're going against him?
Don't get sucked into the... So hang on. Before we continue, I'm just... Because we're talking basketball. Cleveland's winning 25-11 right now.
They were missing the first 3 starters the first 2 games, and they were down 2-0.
Miles Turner has all the points for the Pacers.
The Cavaliers.
He has not missed a shot yet.
Cavaliers need to get a bigger lead because Halliburton for the Pacers has won the last 2 games. He hit the game-winning shot for game 2.
And everybody, it looks like they're distributing the ball really well. Everybody on the team for the Cavaliers has a basket.
They're the only team in NBA history that in one season to have a 2 15-game win streaks and like a 23-game win streak.
I just want to. Everybody has a point. Everybody has a rebound, and everybody has an assist already.
Cavaliers ain't nothing to play with. Also, do you think you can play better defense than Luka Doncic?
I feel like I can jump higher than Luka. It looks like when he jumps, there's rocks holding him down.
Do you want to know the one thing that plagues Luka that actually made the trade look better? Ever since he was a pro in Europe for 6 years, you want to know what every team has said about him?
No defense.
He is overweight. But like, I watched a highlight reel of Luka Doncic 5 years ago. Do you remember? When's the last time you remember Luka dunking?
I don't think I've ever seen him dunk.
5 years ago, he was dunking on everyone, running up the court, dumping almost from the free throw line.
You know what it is, don't you? He got money. He's eating good.
And that Southern cooking.
He's eating good, man.
There was rumors that he was 275 pounds. Look, okay, right now.
But he was still putting up those points.
It's like he's still gonna put up numbers. If you just lose weight right now, if you open up your bank account at whatever bank account offshore and it's at $588 million, how much motivation would you have to be like in tip top shape, like an athlete?
I'd have all the time in the world to do what I got to do.
But then now put that as you as an athlete, where you just got the big money.
Oh, like I'm chilling.
Are you mad at any player who, let's say Juan Soto? If Juan Soto said, I'm just going to get fat, would you even be mad at him?
No.
That's
what happens when all these guys stop. I mean, some of them keep up in shape, but a lot of them are like, why do I got to stay in shape?
For you, as a kid, what was your dream as far as athletics? What was like your pie sky dream? Like, that's what I want to accomplish. Your highest sports goal you had as a kid. Like if you had every opportunity to get there.
I mean, obviously, either make it to NFL or MLB.
Now, if somehow you did, and they said, Christian Blake Castro, we want to sign to a fully guaranteed $500 million deal for the next 10 years.
Okay.
Do you think you made it, or you still want to accomplish your goal?
I think I'd make it. I'd still want to probably win World Series or Super Bowls or whatever I'm doing, but I'd be like, yeah, I made it.
Because when you get that $500 million, what 2 people are you calling after you sign that?
My parents.
And what are you going to do for them if you got that?
Move them wherever they want to go.
Did they ever going to have to worry about a thing called a bill?
Nope.
Now, what do you think about all the athletes who don't come from like rich backgrounds and they get all that money? And
That's awesome. I mean, they worked for it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna call family members.
Yeah, they are.
They be like, man, you ain't got to struggle no more.
Yeah.
I know you know as a kid, like, you go and eat dinner and it's like, you want some extravagant thing, but
yeah.
What was it sometimes? Like, you got to fend for yourself. We got bread and bologna in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
He's like, man. Well, I mean, I guess I'm not mad at them.
Well,
that's all I got.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got anything else?
No, my computer's telling me I got 2% of battery left, even though I plugged it up.
Okay, well, that's all we got. Just a little chill podcast here.
Yeah.
Just talking sports.
Some things could change this weekend off of some events. UFC.
Oh, yeah.
I may call you screaming if they announce the Ilya Islam fight.
You think they do it right after?
Tuesday they will.
Well,
it's a healthy looking card too.
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
Ariel Helwani in his first fight. I want to see that.
I'm really starting to like Saint Denis.
I like Saint Denis. And you know what? Jack Dilla, he just seems cool.
Yeah.
They asked him, are you going to get that nose fixed? You got money now? He said, no. Would you get your nose fixed, or would you keep it how it is? Because
no, it's kind of your look now.
If I see that in the bar, if I see his nose like that, and he's in the bar,
yeah,
I treat that as a cauliflower ear.
You ain't messing with that guy.
Like, why is his nose like that? Yeah, don't mess with him.
Well, that's all we got. Later, stay tuned. Be on the lookout for our next one, our Kansas recap.
Yeah, we don't see a Toyota win that race.
Kansas recap, and we're counting down the days. We'll be up in Charlotte camping for the 600.
It's probably gonna be Mike McDowell win at Charlotte, but
hey. Also, we've been talking. I think we're gonna probably do a vlog for that weekend, so that'll be pretty nice.
Sober for that vlog?
Yeah.
You gonna be 100%? Oh, I like
Look,
that.
I'm on an alcohol detox till then, so I'm good.
So you're not gonna take no shot of like alcohol, not beer. Well, hold on, wait a minute. So you're not drinking any beer?
I might have a few.
All right. No, well, that's all I got. 1%.
All right, later.
Yep.